pleasure to speak with you today.
Likewise, Matt.
Thank you. You're a cinematic thief in a way because you steal every scene you're in.
Stop it. You
And
go on.
that's no, that's the case here too. You're always such a great part of every project you're in.
Wow.
Uh,
Thank you for saying such kind things. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
no, so true. We see a few different Ryans here. It's fun to parse the subtleties
Oh,
between each. My personal favorite is Schlubby Ryan with the beard and some weight.
he's
He's a
great.
Ryan for the people.
He
But
really
did you
is.
have a favorite version or backstory of these different Ryans?
Yeah, I think Rhine 2 you're talking about was my favorite exploration just because, the reality of these three men is their souls are the same. They were the same soul until 18 for 3, until maybe 24 for 2. And so being able to inhabit the best friend character who's always had this kind of goal and has won a lot, and then able to play that confidence, maybe a little more confidence than I have, and then to be able to play the same man who hasn't gotten the breaks, has the same drive, but they keep getting broken. And so he's struggling with a little maybe bitterness, but he's still the same caretaker. And then the third was the hardest because he wasn't even able to develop the drive, and so he's the most lost and the most different from me, stuck completely by his situation and his circumstances, and it's reflected more on his appearance and on his clinging to the Chicagoan accent a little bit more because he's had no reason to step outside and to grow. It was such a pleasure to connect them and to divide them at the same time.
Yeah, it almost seems like avant-garde acting exercises in a way. Like, here's your character, but without this moment in their life. How are they? Was that kind of how it felt?
Yeah, absolutely. And like a nuance that I've never really been asked to. I've played different versions of characters before, just the nature of doing sci-fi, but these were the thing with Dark Matter is that Blake Crouch has touched on this universal human daydream or fear, depending on how you look at it, of like, what if I made this other call? How would I be? How would I have been rewarded? How I would have been punished? And how would it have changed me? And we all think these thoughts at some point, at least everyone I know has. And there's a fear that comes with it because what if it's better? And where am I now? And Blake just unpacked all of it with such articulation and such relatability, and then also so much entertainment that he just, to me, almost doused the flames of the fear a little bit by saying, no, 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 no. Here's the exploration, but truly, you are where you should be, and everything does happen for a reason, which is, in my take, just a truth and a philosophy on how to be happy in this life.
Yeah, the show is very much about gratitude and
Yeah.
recognizing what you have at the moment. Yeah, the multiverse is so popular right now, but I mean, Schrodinger's cat is 90 years old. This idea
Hmm.
of superpositions and alternate realities. Given the concept of this, has there been a big decision for you that would have split Jimmy off into a very different version of yourself that you'd be interested in learning about?
Yeah, I'm a real go with the flow kind of guy. All the things that have happened to me in my life have really, most of the time, happened because I'm open to change, and deep change, which is, I'm lucky to have that quality because change is inevitable and not everybody is ready for it. But I never met an artist my entire childhood. I never met someone, rural New Jersey, not much money. I'd never met anyone who'd made a living from art. So the idea of becoming an actor was not even a thought. And I went to get my English degree at the only university we could afford, and deliver some pizza to pay for my books, and took a theater course halfway through my college career, honestly, so I could skip it because it was a lecture course. And my decision to check in with the course halfway through the semester and have the professor, Karen Anselm, let me know she was taking attendance, and I do need to ace the finale to not fail, and the finale was performance. So I did my first scene, And Karen Anselm asked me the question, will you become a theater major? And I said, yeah, let me add that major. And it wasn't anything I had planned to do. I had no desire to have any fame or to have any of those trappings. But had I not done that, had I been an English teacher, I really do believe I would have told stories on stage. I was kind of attracted towards community theater, but never as a means of like funding my life. So I don't know how different it would have been, but that was kind of the major shift. It's why I'm here, why I'm part of telling this story. It's because of just one woman had an idea and offered it to me, and I was open to it, and I said, sure.
Yeah, that butterfly effect is wild.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it happened.
Yeah.
I guess while I have time here, I mean, I've enjoyed your work since Rose Red, but I think speaking of sci-fi, you had mentioned in a previous interview, Westworld sort of gave you this confidence that you didn't necessarily have before. I know you were so brilliant in the first season, and you know that Westworld moved beyond that, but what are your thoughts on the show as a whole? Do you feel like it got sort of shafted? Do you want to see a conclusion?
To Westworld?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think this show did get a little bit of a shaft in a way. You know, audiences respond to something, and often these days they want more of that thing. And that's not what Jonah and Lisa's plan was ever, and I don't think it should have been. I think the first season was a gorgeous description and exploration of human tendencies to just take what they want and those it affects. Beautiful. And then you have to go deeper. And so they did, and if people didn't respond as well, you know, I think it's their loss, really. And I would always love to see more from that show. But yeah, no, they absolutely got shafted because you can't even actually see the show on HBO anymore. It's all kind of it's mucky with not reality, and people love the show. Now they can't see it. It's more about money than anything. And unfortunately, this is a business, show business. So it's just so refreshing to be on one of these shows that's telling a human truth, that's offering something. I love to do work that offers something to the viewer, but is also really fun. And Blake Crouch and his partner Jackie, who helped write the show, and Apple, and Chris Parnell, and David Manpearl, and Matt Tolmer, they're all familial. We were all doing this because we love what we're talking about. And so because of that, I really have a deep hope that it's not going to get lost in some kind of like network hierarchy. It's actually going to be allowed to exist. And I honestly think this is one of those stories that means a lot. And it's going to help kind of allay some fears and some of like, oh, did I do the right thing? And align people with like, but this is where you are. Tend to the garden at your feet is one of my favorite pieces of advice. And you never know what's going to flourish.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think it really reflects our moment of FOMO and social media and all that.
Yes.
And it's a real encouragement to be mindful of where you are now.
Amen. And gratitude.
It's a great show, and you know, we love it.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Right back at you. Really appreciate it,
Have
man.
a good weekend.
Yeah, what a great chat.